Alrighty, folks, you know I'm feeling great on Groundhog's Day because we're now 7-0 in our last 7 extra daily picks on my premium site. It's actually been Groundhog's Day for the past week in that package. We had the Oregon Ducks last night laying the 2, and they took care of USC by nearly double digits. And the good news is, well, I have another extra daily pick going off here this evening. Now, if you sign up for that membership here today, you're going to get access to that package every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to my daily best play every single day during that time frame, absolutely free. It's going to be included with your purchase. The math works out to be just 9 cents a day. And of course, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on the free video and what I do on my premium site. Well, what I do here on the free video is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side, and total. What I do on my premium site is, well, I actually share with you which one of these free plays on these videos that I actually like the best. Now, if you feel like you could use more than 2 premium selections a day and maybe you want to get an all-access pass, you may want to think about signing up for my full-access, all-inclusive Chairman package. Chairman members get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you also get access to my Chairman podcast, absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. Once again, folks, I'm a perfect 7-0, my last 7 extra daily picks on my premium site. And that package is included with your purchase of the Chairman membership. The site is patreon.com/Brock Page. And with that, folks, we're going to dive into some free content. Real quick, I mentioned Groundhog's Day. I got up early. Well, I'm up early every day. But I was watching the Groundhogs telecast, the live thing from Punxsutawney. And I'm embarrassed to say this. This might be news to you as well. But the Punxsutawney Phil groundhog thing, that's predetermined. Like, he doesn't come out of a stump and look either way. And if he sees a shadow, this, and if he doesn't, it's that. It's already predetermined. All that big event is literally the master of ceremony reading a scroll, telling you the results. It's a massive event for a guy with a top hat reading the results. He tells you if Phil saw a shadow or not. I'm not lying to you. It's crazy. I watched it this morning and I was baffled. I texted almost everybody I knew in my contacts like, hey, did you know that, like, Groundhog Day, it's a sham? Like, it's not a live event. That would be like going to a Dolphins game and, like, tailgating all morning and then watching, the pregame and all that good stuff. And right at kickoff, the refs come out and say, all right, Miami won the game. They actually played the game yesterday, and the Dolphins won. If you want to get pictures with the team, make a single file line and have your credit cards ready. Thanks for coming. So anyway, crazy. Groundhog Day. It is not a live occurrence where Phil comes out of the stump and he goes either left or right. It's literally a guy reading off of a scroll. Phil saw his shadow this year. Very weird. I was very underwhelmed. But anyway, moving on, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. Clippers, Pistons, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. The Clippers are minus 11.5, totals 236. And even though this is a big number for a road team, I think the Clippers should be able to cover handily here. They got the W in 8 out of their last 10, and they are the best three-point shooting team in the game. As a matter of fact, the Clippers' top 4 scorers, they're all drilling well over 41% of their 3 balls. Kawhi, PG, Harden, and Powell, they're all drilling over 41% of their 3 balls collectively. And they're facing the worst team in professional basketball in Detroit here today. The Pistons lost 17 of 18 against the Western Conference this year. And when it comes to defensive play, well, the Pistons give up the majority of their points late. They're in the bottom 3 in second half points allowed. And when it comes to the injury list, Muscala and Stewart are still out for the Pistons. Zubac and Diabate still inactive for the Clippers. Now, the Clippers did see overs recently against the likes of the Lakers, Nets, and Thunder. The Pistons have seen 60% of their ball games this year get over the total as well. Give me the Clippers minus 11.5 over 236. Next game, Heat Wizards, 7 o'clock East. Miami's minus 8.5, totals 229 and a hook. And for a team laying several baskets on the road here, Miami's been terrible covering the point spread. They failed to cover in 8 out of their last 9. And they've been terrible on offense away from home. Out of 24 contests away from South Beach, the Heat's averaged only 107 points a game. Cole Swider's making just 42% of his field goals. Kevin Love's making only 33% of his long balls. And they're taking on a Washington team who won 2 out of their last 3. Covers recently against the likes of Denver, New York, and Atlanta. And when it comes to shooting the basketball, the Wizards are in the top 10 in offensive field goal percentage at home. Kyle Kuzma leads the roster in points per game. Tyus Jones knocks down over 40% of his three-pointers. And when it comes to the injury list, Shamet, Bagley, and Poole are questionable. Livers is out. Meanwhile, for the Heat, Duncan Robinson's inactive with a concussion. When it comes to the total, the Heat saw overs recently against the likes of the Knicks and Celtics. And in their last 10 meetings with Washington, the over cashed in 70% of those gatherings. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of overs to go around. Now, the Wizards saw the over cash recently against the likes of the Spurs and the Pistons back on the 15th. Give me Washington plus 8.5 over 229 and a hook. Next game, Suns, Hawks, 7:30 Eastern start time. Phoenix is minus 3, totals 247. Now, the Suns got the W in 8 out of their last 10, and they played some really tough defense on the road. The Suns are in the top 3 in defensive field goal percentage while traveling. When it comes to grabbing rebounds, not many teams do it better than Phoenix. These guys are averaging more defensive boards per contest than any other lineup except for one. Yusuf Nurkic averages double-digit boards a game, 50% shooting from the field. Meanwhile, Kevin Durant leads the roster in scoring, and he's drilling 45% of his long balls. Now, they're facing an Atlanta squad who struggles guarding the three-pointer themselves, especially at home. As a matter of fact, Atlanta's letting their opponents make nearly 41% of their three-pointers against them at the State Farm Arena. That's worst in the NBA. And it should come as no real shock. Atlanta's currently allowing 125 points a night in their own building. Now, injury-wise, DeAndre Hunter's questionable. Vic Krejci's out. The Hawks saw overs in their last 4 straight. 15-8 to the over as the home team. Meanwhile, the Suns saw overs in 5 out of their last 9 conference road games. Give me Phoenix minus 3 over 247. Next matchup, Kings, Pacers, 7:30 Eastern start time. Sacramento's minus 3.5, totals 248. And even though the Kings are favored, they've struggled a bit on D this year, especially guarding the 3-ball. The Kings have the second worst defensive 3-point percentage in the NBA. And no real surprise here, they're also in the bottom 10 in defensive field goal percentage as well. And of course, they're facing the highest scoring team in the NBA in the Pacers. Indy's averaging more points a game than any other roster in the league. And of course, they're also the best field goal shooting team in the game as well. Obi Toppin's making 57% of his field goals, 40% shooting from 3-land. Meanwhile, Tyrese Halliburton leads the lineup in points per game. Now, injury-wise, McConnell and Mathurin are questionable for the Pacers. When it comes to the total, the Pacers saw overs recently against the likes of Boston, Phoenix, and Philadelphia. They're also 17-8 to the over as the home team. Sacramento saw overs recently against the likes of Golden State, Milwaukee, and this very Pacer team. Give me Indiana plus 3.5 over 248. Next contest, it is going to be Hornets Thunder, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. OKC's minus 16, totals 227.5. Now, OKC got the W in 6 out of their last 8. They've been tough to beat in the Paycom Center. They're 18-6 in their own arena, and they're one of the best shooting teams in the game. OKC is making nearly 51% of their attempts from the field. They're also in the top 3 in shooting from beyond the arc. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's the club leader in scoring, 55% shooting from the field. Meanwhile, Chet Holmgren's making 53% of his attempts from the field as well. They're taking on a Charlotte club who lost their last 5 straight. They failed to cover in 8 out of their last 10. And out of 23 contests away from the Queen City, the Hornets got the W only 5 times. They averaged just 109 points per contest in those road games. Now, injury-wise, Lowry, Hayward, and Williams are out. LaMelo Ball is questionable. Meanwhile, for the Hornets, they saw unders recently against the likes of the Knicks, Pistons, and Sixers. Meanwhile, OKC saw unders in their last 4 straight themselves. Give me OKC minus 16, under 227.5. Next contest, Warriors Grizzlies, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. Golden State's minus 8, totals 223. For a team laying several baskets on the road here, the Warriors have not been great recently. They lost 6 out of their last 9, and they play their worst basketball on the road. Now, when it comes to defensive play, the Warriors do give up a ton of points late. They're in the bottom 5 in fourth quarter points allowed. And as bad as Memphis has been on offense, they do take a lot of shots from downtown. They're actually a top 10 three-point making team. Now, when it comes to covering the number, no one's been hotter over the past week than the Grizzlies. These guys have covered in their last 6 straight. Covers against the likes of Cleveland, Indiana, and Orlando. When it comes to the injury list, Rose, Smart, Clark, Bane, and LaRavia, they are still out. Kennard and Williams are questionable. Meanwhile, for Golden State, Paul, Saric, Payton, and Moody are still out for them. And the Warriors saw unders in 6 out of their last 10 meetings with the Grizzlies. So once again, if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Now, the Grizzlies have gone 16-6 the under in the FedEx Forum. Give me the Grizzlies plus 8, under 223. Next game, Pelicans Spurs, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. The Pelicans are minus 7, totals 234. Now, the Pels should be able to take care of business here. They've got a winning record away from home, and they've been solid on offense in those road games. Now, they're currently in the top 3 in shooting the 3 ball in their travels this year. They've also done a nice job of offensive rebounding. They're in the top 5 in the West in offensive boards on the road. Jonas Valanciunas, he averages double-digit rebounds a game, 57% shooting from the field. Meanwhile, CJ McCollum averages 19 points a game, and he makes 43% of his three-pointers. Now, they're facing a San Antonio squad who lost 7 out of their last 10. They've been terrible at home. Out of 24 games on their own court, the Spurs got the W only 5 times. They're currently the second worst defensive rebounding team at home in the league. Now, injury-wise, Zach Collins and Keldon Johnson are questionable for San Antonio. Nance Jones and Zion are day-to-day for New Orleans. The Pels saw overs recently against the likes of the Bucks, Jazz, and Hornets. They've also averaged over 121 points a night in their last 10 gatherings with San Antonio. Now, the Spurs are 10-40 the over in their in-conference home games. Give me the Pelicans minus 7, over 234. Next game, Magic T-Wolves, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. Minnesota's minus 7.5, totals 212. Now, the T-Wolves did get the W in 7 out of their last 10. And I'll tell you, they've been tough to take down at home. The T-Wolves are 18-4 straight up in the Target Center. And they've been impossible to score against there. The T-Wolves actually lead the league in defensive points per game at home. They're currently limiting their competition to just 42% shooting on their own court. Anthony Edwards leads the lineup in steals per game. Rudy Gobert has got the most blocks and boards. When it comes to rebounding, well, the Magic have had a tough time of doing that on offense. They're in the bottom 10 in offensive boards per game. And when it comes to shooting the 3 ball, nobody's worse than Orlando. These guys are dead last in offensive 3-point percentage. Dead last in three-pointers made per game. Jonathan Isaac makes just 28% of his three balls. Franz Wagner just 30%. Now, total-wise, the Magic saw unders recently against the likes of the Spurs, Suns, and Heat. They're also 61% to the under against Western Conference opponents. Now, the T-Wolves have gone 14-8 to the under in their own building. Give me Minnesota minus 7.5, under 212. Next matchup, Raptors Rockets, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. Houston's minus 5, totals 229. Now, the Rockets covered in 3 out of their last 4 ball games, and they play their best basketball in their own arena. The Rockets are 17-9 in the Toyota Center, and they've covered the point spread in 65% of those contests. And a lot of that is thanks to some strong defensive play. Houston's in the top 3 in the West in points allowed per game at home. Freddie VanVleet leads the roster in blocks per game. A handful of boards per contest as well. Meanwhile, Jabari Smith Jr. snags over 6.5 defensive rebounds a game as well. They're facing a Raptors team who failed to cover in 6 out of their last 9. And they took the outright loss in all of those contests except for 2. Now, out of 24 road games this year, the Raptors got the W only 7 times. They're letting their opponents make 50% of their field goals against them in their travels. Now, injury-wise, Pirtle, Barrett, Quickly, and Porter, they're all questionable for the Raptors. Alpi Sengun's day-to-day for Houston. When it comes to the total, the Rockets saw unders recently against the likes of the Pelicans, Nets, and Celtics. Meanwhile, Toronto went 7-1 to the under in their last 8. Give me Houston minus 5, under 229. And with that, folks, we're going to dive into our next and final breakdown for the video. It's going to be in that Blazers-Nuggets game. That'll be a 9 o'clock Eastern start time. Denver's minus 12, totals 221. Now, the Nuggets got the W in 7 out of their last 10. And they've been incredibly tough to play against in the Ball Arena. They're 19-4 in the Mile High City, and they're making nearly 52% of their field goals there. Jamal Murray's knocking down over 41% of his attempts from 3 land, second on the roster in scoring. Meanwhile, Michael Porter Jr., he's averaging 15 points a game himself, and he's drilling 40% of his three-pointers. Now, they're taking on a Portland squad who's definitely not built for a track meet. As a matter of fact, these guys average a league-low 105 points a night in their travels. And no real surprise here, the Blazers are dead last in offensive rebounding on the road. Now, injury-wise, Brown and Sharp are still out for the Blazers. Strawther's questionable with a knee for Denver. Jokic also battling some back problems, so keep an eye on him. When it comes to the total, the Nuggets saw their last 7 straight stay under the total. They're also 19-9 to the under against in-conference opponents. Now, Portland saw 6 out of their last 9 stay under the line themselves. Give me Denver minus 12, under 221. And with that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Give me the Clippers minus 11.5 over 236. Wizards plus 8.5 over 229 and a hook. Phoenix Suns minus 3 over 247. I'm 7-0. My last 7 extra daily picks on my premium site. The link is in my bio. Pacers plus 3.5 over 248. Thunder minus 16 under 227.5. Grizzlies plus 8 under 223. Pelicans minus 7 over 234. T-Wolves minus 7.5 under 212. Rockets minus 5 under 229. With my next and final free pick, give me the Nuggets minus 12 under 221. Of that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium site. Now, if you do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. As an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. That's why I always tell folks that Chairman Package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. It gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to my Chairman podcast absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, folks, happy Friday to you. Happy Groundhog Day to you. Even though I'm still upset, I've been duped. Maybe I'm the only one. I don't know. I texted almost, not almost everybody, but a lot of people in my contacts this morning, and they thought I was lying. They're like, what are you talking about? Like, the thing comes out, he sees a shadow where he doesn't. No, that doesn't happen. They knock on the door, they bring him out, they put him on top of the stump. He just stands there. The guy with the top hat pretends he's whispering to him, and then they open a scroll, and they read the results. It's unbelievable. Couldn't believe it. But anyway, happy Groundhog Day to you, and I hope I do see you later on today on my premium site at patreon.com/RockPage.